I get started, I just want to say thank you, Amy. Thank you for everyone at Heartspark Press. Thank you for everyone that helped facilitate the logistics of all of us being here. This is phenomenal. I've done a lot of readings this year, more than I've ever done, and to be honest, this is the first time I've been nervous all year doing any sort of reading, because this is probably a once in a lifetime, but hopefully not in the future. But in my lifetime, this is a once in a lifetime at this point. I'm a writer, not artist, from St. Louis. I'm going to read a couple shorter pieces, maybe one longer piece, and then we'll move on to the next person. The first piece I'm going to read is a poem that imagines, so I'm adopted, and I was adopted at a month old, and this poem kind of imagines what was happening to me within that month of being by myself in the hospital. And so this one is called Red Sissy. Inhale the soul. Hold her inside cavities carved by bags of brown sugar melting onto flesh gums. Pump the euphoria of pain into the brain with black snakes engorged by field rats in tall summer grass. Color the capillaries red, like the spirit the morning she descended upon the hospital crib. My mother abandons me on an altar of a maternity ward that her boyfriend wants no part of, where I sleep and wail alone, observed and fed by nurses in shifts as they hand other infants into cradle arms heading home. Interdimensional rifts crack open, and the supreme femme mother rubs her raw pussy into ruby divine light. She wraps her cosmic legs around me, holds me in a nest of eternal memories stitched with visions of decolonialized transsexuals. She paints my face with blood, infects 100 billion neuron cells with the pulse of 100 billion dying planets. Writes the name Red Sissy on a dry erase board above knitted blankets and soiled wet bassinet sheets. Kisses my screaming tongue with suffering, whispers into my ears that she got a pocket full of pennies and a phone full of cocks. She has full breasts and thick hips. She has dark nipples, smooth ass, and soft hair. Her rage seeps into my veins, blossoms into peonies, blushing under a white sky. She rubs her cock during church sermons, stares at graveyards of iridescent dirt daubers buried inside fluorescent tile ceilings. My fingers grip the black beaded eyeballs of a tiny teddy bear as I gnaw on red fur ears. For every death, there is a birth, to broadcast for the masses bleeding out political traumas and holy wars. Bullets scar the flesh, but love is a wound that never heals. My body levitates from bed and her hands raise her tit to my lips. Sissy needs warm milk, like desperate writers need coins. So this next one is the newest poem I wrote. It is in memory of Brandy Seals. Unfortunately, the 27th trans woman to be murdered in the United States this year. So this is kind of a cut and paste type of poem in honor of her. Brandy Seals. Houston, Texas. The speculation is he's been working the street, Waters told Fox 26 in Houston. That someone picks up and then realizes he's not what he's representing himself to be and takes this kind of ultimate action. December 13th, 2017. The Fox picks her up to be told speculation, this ultimate himself, the kind of street that Waters 27 in Houston realizes she is not what she's representing, been someone. Working is action and then take. She was a loving person, said Maria Cheeks, Seal's aunt. A beautiful person. I mean, yes, she can pass for a woman because she was just that beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's that one. So, longer piece, a little bit longer. And this one is a piece that I produced for an artist showcase in St. Louis. And yeah, I'm gonna read this one. The title is, "The virus, like art, is imagined by the bodies it inhabits and scratches to the blood and sings through the lungs. She looks banji cunt in the mirror, body wrapped in red lace, licks gloss off her lips, licks dope sickness off the floor and into her mouth. Waiting for a cab is like waiting for Jesus, waiting for stigma to come inside your ass, to feel the same crippling sting, because the bigger the cream pie, the closer to God. Sissy inhales VCR cleaner, so trades cock slides in easier. When I saw my face painted with the headline, HIV tranny carrier, my stomach dropped. Had the virus finally taken root inside mucous membranes? Was I now the vector in the streets passing death to her lovers? Was the Easter weekend I spent doubled over in bed my sero-resurrection? Disco dances inside genetic garbage landfills of disease and death, and sores that never heal, like Daddy's prophecy that this life would riddle your body with plague. And God abandons you in cold apartments, littered with needles and shards of crystal meth, and your body full of smoke and sin. We are more than our cocks, you hear Larry say as he spits and swears and summons down spirits from mountaintops to possess our bodies with faggot Pentecost. Whatever happened to his uncle? Oh, that old faggot, he died of AIDS. His sister goes up to the school and talks to the kids about how she had to change his shitty diapers and wash the sores and watch him die in her bed. Warns them about fucking and drugs and queers. Praise the dykes who inhale the spirit and cast words over the body to keep it from death, and cast verse over lesions to keep them from life, and cast scripture over the book to hold it from fire. Pray to the rodents who in famine will gnaw and feast on their soft pink flesh of their own litters. Lay flowers at your grandfather's grave, who is never ashamed of his sissy grandchild. Hear Pastor Noel scream at you and your parents and your neighbors and your little brother and your best friend and your play aunt and uncle that the wages of sin are death, and that every queer deserves to die by the righteous hand of God embodied by this virus. I've let men come inside me for years now. Some say they're clean, some were paused, some say they're undetectable, some don't give a fuck, and I guess I'm high, existing in moments of ecstasy. Nipples raw, whole begging, lips flushed with blood, moaning and crying for all human pleasure in a world wrought with rage. What good is an uncompromised immune system when the entire human race is already bent on genocide? Sometimes lifting one's body up in immolation is liberation, in that one is free from the myth that human life holds any kind of inherent hope. In death we were born, in death we became canonized, in death we gentrified cities with our decomposing bodies, in death we relive every shot, every shitty diaper, every IV, every putrid mush of food fed by spoons, every moment our mothers kissed our cheeks and held us into the light of dreams. The God virus degrades white blood cells with holy proteins, allowing opportunistic infections into a seedy motel lit by neon red light, where pathogens and prostitutes sell their microbes to meth dealers and truckers jacking off hairy cocks gripped by moldy cock rings. The rooms are littered with cigarettes and the carpet glints with flecks of aluminum foil. Smells like the chemical afterburn of crystal meth. Feels like thin worn sheets spotted in dull yellow-brown stains. Mitochondria porn plays on the hotel television. A pot-bellied old queen lays naked on the bed stroking a flaccid dick, surrounded by dildos, butt plugs, vibrators, cock rings, poppers, ball stretchers, nipple clamps, leather whips, enema bags, and tubes. On the next bed, 2 young faggots smoked meth and fucked. Bacteria looking for raw play, party friendly, no fats, no femmes, no virals. Why does death feel so slow, like syrup rolling down the stem of pistils, wet with the dew of another spring we won't live to see, or smell, or touch? There's that one. I don't know, I might have one more for you. I don't know how I am on time. You're good. We're good? I'm going to do one last little one for y'all. You know what? This one's called Red Planet. Ain't no land but Canaan land now. Ain't no grave but cold creek clay. Ain't no flag worth killing for. And ain't no flesh in heaven to taste. Ain't no chain can bind my soul. Ain't no road to carry me home. Ain't no dreams on a red planet, except what the moon don't own.